Hi, welcome to Vegetables Day 128. And no, I did not get a video up for Foodie Friday yesterday. And the reason for that is because, as I mentioned in my video on Thursday, I did go to physical therapy. But then, and I seemed to be okay with, that evening. But when I woke up yesterday morning, I was having a little bit of, just a little bit of pain in my back and my right leg, where I have the parasthetic meralgia parasthetica. Yeah, meralgia parasthetica. It just felt like the whole leg was just a little heavy. I did see the neurologist, and he said that he'd like to see me continue with the physical therapy. I go back to see him again in July, and he will see how I'm doing. At that point, depending on how I'm doing, he may decide to order an MRI for me. And now I've had a couple of them. But the last one was at least 2 years ago, maybe 3. So he just wanted an updated MRI just to see if anything has changed. And of course, based on what those results are, would help us determine what the next step is. Then after the doctor's appointment, I went to the grocery store. And I did a lot of shopping. It's, the beginning of the month, and at the beginning of the month I usually do, a pretty good grocery haul. I got mostly vegetables. I did get a few things for the only thing I got for my husband was ground beef. Because that's all he requested. He wanted a taco salad, which he had for dinner tonight. But most of the rest of it was vegan / vegetables, salads, that kind of stuff. So most of it was for me because he's not quite there yet. But it took a couple of hours, and then I had to get gas. And so with already having a little bit of pain in my back and my leg feeling heavy, by the time I got done shopping, got gas, drove home, brought in, I did pick up dinner. I had a vegetable sandwich. It's on an Italian sweetbread. It's from a local restaurant called Avanti's. Many of you, if you've been anywhere in central Illinois, you know of Avanti's. But it's an Italian sweetbread. It's their own recipe. And on the sandwich it had lettuce, green peppers, mushrooms, and black olives. Normally it comes with cheese and red onions, but as we know, I don't like raw onion. So I did get it without that, and then I also did get it without the cheese, and then when I got home I added mustard to it. It was kind of messy to eat, but it was good. And then Scott had a regular gondola, which they call it gondolas. He had a half of one, and he had a half of a pizza burger. He ate just the insides because he didn't want all the bread. But that was a sidetrack. But by the time I, picked up the food, got my grandson McDonald's, and carried all the food in, put it all away, I could hardly even walk. I didn't have time to clean the kitchen. I've been, of course, we all know how much I dislike dishes. And, I try to do the dishes without washing them first. But half the dishes don't come clean in the dishwasher. I was talking to a dishwasher salesman, and he's like, oh, well, the reason your dishwasher's not getting your dishes clean is because they're not dirty enough. What? So, at any rate, the dishes had piled up for a couple days. So, between hurting so bad and not being able to walk and just being so physically exhausted, I knew there was no way that I was going to be able to cook anything. And in fact, I was so exhausted. I talked about the mental exhaustion. I was so physically tired that I was also mentally tired. So I just made the decision to not do a video yesterday. And that's why. But today, feeling much better. Still, believe it or not, I'm still sore and tired from yesterday, but not near as bad. So, what that meant as far as today, that meant I stayed in bed till 1 o'clock. I ordered McDonald's for breakfast, but I got 2 orders of oatmeal with no cream, black coffee, and a plain English muffin. So that when it got here, all I had to do was, as you know, McDonald's is supposed to come with raisins and apples on their oatmeal. And they forgot the fruit. So I did have to add fruit. But if they would have made it right, then, I wouldn't have had to do that even. But I put the oatmeal in a bowl, stuck the raisins in, stuck it in the microwave for a little bit so the raisins would soak up a little bit of the liquid. Poured on some coconut milk, put my sweetener and my coconut milk in the coffee, and then put plant butter on the English muffin. So it was a totally complaint, and I still ate out. And I was so happy that I could eat at McDonald's even though I'm vegan. Yay. At least breakfast. I don't know about the rest of the day, because I don't even think French fries are vegan, because they probably have that beef alternative in it. I don't know. I'll have to look at them. But after I did that, I just laid in bed and just rested. It's what I needed. But I was finally felt well enough and rested enough that I got up and got dressed and I did the dishes. It probably took me at least hour and a half to do the dishes. That's how many I had. Dishwasher was already emptied. I had emptied the dishwasher yesterday morning before I went to the doctor with full intentions of doing dishes when I got home. So the dishwasher was empty. So because I needed to, get all of the food out of the dishes first, it took me probably at least a half hour to load the dishwasher. Half hour, 45 minutes, because a couple of dishes were oatmeal. Meal gets pretty sticky. When it dries on the bowl, it takes a lot to get it off. And then I usually have egg beaters for my husband's breakfast, and they'd stuck to the pans that I cooked them in because I don't use a whole lot of butter or oil cooking them. So it took a while just to load the dishwasher. And then I had all of the pans to do. And rather than, well, actually, a dishwasher is just cups, plates, and bowls. Every single bowl in the in the house was dirty, and my dishwasher is not very big. So then, like I said, I was doing the dishes, and it. The first thing I did is I let the silverware soak for a while. After it soaked for a while, my dish drainer's silverware thing is this long. It's like, it's like this wide. I don't know. It's like, we'll say this wide, and like this long. And it is jam packed full of silverware. Every single spoon in the house is dirty. When you don't eat out, you get a heck of a lot more dishes than when you do eat out. So it probably took me an hour to get all the stuff off that and get that loaded. And then I washed out all the dishes with just plain water to get the food out. And then and then I had to go actually wash the dishes. Wash the pans. My dish drainer is like a pile high full of pans. And then, I wiped down the counters and wiped down the stove. And then I made dinner. Scott had bird's eye wallach, 3 cheese chicken. And part of the time today I did search for a keto cake for him because he'd been craving something sweet. He hadn't had anything sweet in a few days, so let's find him a cake. So I made him a keto cake, and he really enjoyed it. And then I just had an Amy's Mexican casserole thing that was really good. Then I made myself some strawberry banana ice cream. Actually, it's more like a shake. By the time I got done, it was pretty liquidy, so it was more like a shake, which is fine. It was really good. And now I'm doing this. So, today, what I'm going to talk about and show you is what my eye doctor has prescribed to me to treat my chronic dry eye. And this is what she had me do, or has me do, in addition to the Restasis eye drops. Now those do need to have a prescription for those to be assigned, but the rest of the regimen that she has me do is completely available online or at your local grocery store. So I just wanted to share that with you so that, if you do suffer from chronic dry eye as well, perhaps something similar to this might help you. So the first thing she has me do is she has me put organic virgin coconut oil on my eyelids. So it's really simple. Just, first I gotta take off my glasses, and now I can't see a thing. But you just take your finger. If you look at the top of it. Now I've had this jar for a long time, and I certainly wouldn't eat it at this point because the jar is so old. But there's no reason you can't put it on on your skin. But you're not supposed to eat coconut oil anyway because it's so saturated. And see how, there's a little bit of liquid on top, but for the most part, it's pretty solid because it's so saturated. So most whole foods plant-based proponents, diet proponents, don't recommend eating coconut oil because it's so, you know, saturated. But don't even really need to put any actual coconut oil on your finger. You know, you don't need to go in there and dig. All you have to do is, there's a little bit of liquid right on the surface. And see, I think you can hopefully see, you know, very, very small amount. And that's almost too much. And then I just rub it into my eyelids. Okay, so let's do that again. Get a little closer. Just stick it in there just a little bit. And it's actually dripping, so there's too much. Okay? And then I just rub it in my eyelid. Now that one wasn't quite enough, so I will do it again. Make sure I have plenty. Okay. Now she recommends that I keep that on for 20 minutes. Before I go on to the next step. So I will be back in 20 minutes to show you the the other step or other part of the regimen that she's prescribed to me. So it's been a little more than 20 minutes, which is fine. The doctor's instructions are just, you know, at least 20 minutes. So then the next step is to heat this in the microwave. And I'll put a link to everything in the description box below. But what this is obviously it's a mask, and it has beans or something on the inside. You can probably hear them. Of course, if you put this in the microwave, it gets hot. So then you put this in the microwave, heat it up. I heat it for 30 seconds. That's usually a little hot for the average microwave, but my microwave doesn't heat very well. Never has. So if you're looking for a new microwave, I do not recommend a Toshiba. But at any rate, the one thing that she didn't recommend that I did find though is I found these. And this is what it is, and you know, this is how it comes out of the box. And oh, it just peels open like that, and then it unfolds like this. And then I haven't heated this up yet, but what you do is you stick this over your eyes like this. And then once this is hot, you stick it on like this. And you can't see a thing. But then you leave it on for 10 minutes, which usually lasts 10 minutes anyway. So, let me go heat this up. Put this and this on for 10 minutes. And I will be back with the last step. Or last couple of steps. Okay, so I have about a minute left. Hopefully I'm in the frame because I moved around. But how I know that this is working is that even though I can't see anything, I can still move my eyes around. And when I do that, I can feel that underneath the mask here, it is moist, it's wet. You can feel the tears because the purpose of the mask is to loosen the debris that has collected in your tear ducts. And because there's all that debris in your tear ducts, that's why you have chronic dry eye. And that's another reason why I use this, is because this is my second mask. And when I wasn't using this to begin with, the mask got really dirty really fast. So this, this helps. These are relatively inexpensive as compared to buying a mask very frequently. So, it just, when you think about the fact that there's all this crud and tears and stuff on the mask, you think about it's kind of gross. And I mean, you can definitely wash the mask, which I do, but I don't know, it's more sanitary having this here. And then I don't have to wash the mask every time I use it. So, watch should be going off here any minute. Okay. Can't hear it, but it's vibrating, so I know it's going off. Okay. So I just removed the mask. And then, since my eyes are all watery, I do use this to dry them off. Okay, now I will stop the timer. And then the next step is using these. I tried to use the front of it and I could never get them out. So now when I take one out, sometimes they fall out the front. I don't know. At any rate. So they just come in little packets like this. And they're just basically towelettes. Moist towelettes. And they're called lens scrubs, so you just scrub the lens with them. It does take the oil off, but enough of it's soaked in that it still helps keep it moisturized. Okay, and I've tried to look at the towelette to see if there's anything on that. I've never seen anything, but I can definitely tell a difference as far as, the pain and moisture in my eyes when I don't do this frequent enough, which I'm supposed to do it twice a day. I never remember to do that. Normally, okay, so I still have this left. Once I use the lens wipe to clean it, I do dry it off. Okay, and then the last step is eye drops. So yes, I do have two different kinds of eye drops. The Restasis, which I don't have with me. I do that morning and night. And, they're like an anti-inflammatory. These are, let's put my glasses on real quick so I can read the box. These are just mineral oil, and so they're just a lubricant. And, they come like this. And of course you just tear one off. And I should have saved my, here, let me get a Kleenex, because I threw away my, gonna need a Kleenex. And I just put a couple drops in each eye. This just twists off. If you've never seen these before, it's pretty neat. And then just a couple drops per eye. It's mist. Now what's nice about the mineral oil drops is, in Restasis you put 1 drop per eye. And that's all. Because if you do more, of course, it's a medicine, you can overdo it. But this is just mineral oil, just a lubricant. So, you could put multiple drops per eye. And if your eyes are really, really burning, these really help with, relieving a lot of that soreness and redness. Yeah. Okay, so that's about 3 drops per eye. Now, they say that once you use it, you're supposed to throw it away. But these can get expensive. So, that goes back on. Let me show you. Get a little closer. Okay, see, if you look, I think you can see it. There's a little hole there. And you can recap this. And I will save it and use the rest of it. And that helps save money. Just make sure you don't touch the eye. If you end up accidentally touching your eye with it, you definitely want to throw it away. Okay, but that is the regimen that I go through for my eyes to help keep them from being so dry. The biggest symptom that I was having before I started doing this is I would get in this eye. This eye was not so bad, but in this eye, right in the corner of the eye, right there, I would get this stabbing pain. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that hurts. And eye drops alone wasn't taking care of it. So definitely using the mask and the lens wipes and the coconut oil, adding that to the eye drops, and then those eye drops being just the mineral oil has really made a big difference in my eye health. It hasn't really affected my vision other than when I use the mineral oil. Excuse me. Other than when I use the mineral oil. Not mineral oil, the coconut oil. It usually gets in my eyes a little bit too, which is probably why you have to do it. That does get in my eyes, and that can make my vision a little blurry. But it doesn't hurt. It's no big deal if a little bit of olive, getting my oils mixed up, coconut oil gets in your eye. Well, that's a video for today. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you find it helpful and useful. Again, I'll put the links to all of those items in the description box below. I know both of these, or all of these, the coconut oil, the lens wipes, and the eye drops, I can find all those at my local Kroger store. These I found on Amazon, and this I think I found this on Amazon, but I also can also get one from my eye doctor. But I did get that from my eye doctor, but yeah, if I can find one online, I'll definitely put a link to that. So, I do hope you find that it's helpful, and please comment, like, and subscribe. hit that notification bell so that you know when I upload the video every day. In the meantime, enjoy the rest of your evening. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow. And one thing I did forget, if you use, or since I use both the Retain Mineral Oil Eye Drops and the Ristasis Eye Drops, I make sure that I have at least 20 minutes to an hour between using the two different drops. They cannot be moved or used simultaneously.